Hey guys, T2 out here, Titan Ink Survival. Today I've got a very interesting product to show you, but before we get into that, I want to ask, if I was going to buy you a survival item, whether it be a flashlight, a lantern, battery charger, or even a radio, and I said you can have a backup battery option, what would you pick? Would you pick the solar powered, or would you pick the hand crank? I believe about 90% of y'all are going to go with the solar option. And why is that? Number one, it's passive, right? I sit this thing out in the sun, it charges, it works. The number two reason that y'all probably aren't going to go for a hand crank is because it requires that manual labor. While this is passive, hand cranking is very active, right? You have to sit there and you have to crank and crank and crank. And number three, hand crank has been kind of gimmicky. If you want further proof of that, go check out my Midland versus running snail radio. At 2 minutes of hand cranking on the Midland, you get a whole 73 seconds of music. Now the running snail is a little bit better at 2 minutes equals 5.5 minutes, but it's still not great. So what if there was actually a decent hand crank option? Would y'all be interested in it? So introducing the K-TOR Pocket Socket. This is a 1 amp USB style hand crank generator. Now you might be asking yourself, why would I need a hand crank generator if I have one of these? These things are great and I'm not knocking them. They work. But 3 reasons that I can see that you would need a hand crank versus one of these. Number one, if it's dark outside. If it's dark, these things aren't much more than a paperweight. They're useless. Number two, think about the devices that you charge using one of these. You probably charge devices like these, right? Your radio, your battery charger, a headlamp flashlight, or even a cell phone. If it's raining, do you really want these items to sit out in the rain and charge via a solar panel? You're probably not going to get that good charge anyway. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want my $800 phone getting wet. And the third reason that I think you might need one of these, think about places that get tornadoes. If you're in a storm shelter, I've not been in any of them, but I don't believe that they have windows. So what's the point in having something that's got to face the sun if you have no windows? Think about places like Kansas or Alabama that get tornadoes often. That solar panel ain't going to do any good. But if you had one of these devices, you could easily go into your little storm shelter and use one of these to charge up your phone, to charge up a flashlight, to get a better charge on your radio, and that way you can actually hear when either another storm's coming or to hear when it's all clear and you're safe to come out. So let's unbox it and see what we've got. So in the box comes with an instruction manual and your hand crank generator. As you can tell, it folds up pretty small. You can easily put this in a lights out kit, a go bag, a get home bag, whatever the case is. It's about the same size as the running snail radio. A little bit bigger than the palm of my hand. And what it does is this little piece comes out and that turns and that generates your power. Back here you've got the USB to plug into. They recommend using this in 3-minute intervals. So that is the hand strap. Obviously it's going to get tiresome using this thing. But if it's strapped to your hand, you don't have to really grip it. It stays there. So I'm going to test this thing out, try to charge my phone a little bit, and see how well it works. So the first thing you want to do, if you're charging, say, a cell phone, is to kill off all your apps. You don't want anything running in the background. I would personally recommend turning your phone off. But if you are in a disaster situation, that might not be the smartest idea. I have 72% right now, and I'm going to charge it. So it's been 3 minutes and I got a whole 1% out of it. My phone was still turned on. I closed off all of my background apps. I turned my GPS off. I turned my Bluetooth off. 1% for 3 minutes. Is that good? Is that bad? I guess it depends on the situation. Now, I'm not super tired. It did wear out my arms just a little bit, but nothing where I couldn't do it again. I could probably do this arm for another 3 minutes and then swap to this side and do this side for 6 minutes. There would be, what, 4 or 5% on my battery life, especially if I shut my phone off. Would I recommend this product? Me having different battery banks and solar panels, I can't say that this would be my top 5 items, but it can be useful. And they do have bigger models. 1%, yeah, that's not going to get me very far. But if I can run this side for 6 minutes and then swap over to this side and run my left hand for 6 minutes, you know, that's 4 to 5% battery life. And that might be all I need. Now, in an emergency situation, I don't need my phone on 100%. If all I'm doing is listening to alerts on my phone, or charging a flashlight, charging a lantern, listening to alerts on a radio or something, yeah, 3 minutes at a time, charging it wouldn't be that bad doing it. Can I recommend this product? I think I can recommend it. I think it's a very good product, especially to have in the situations that I talked about earlier. There is some racket to it. You don't want to be using this product if, say, you're in a campsite and you've got neighbors, but a storm shelter, yeah, absolutely. You and your family in there, you run this thing for 12, 13 minutes, pass it to your wife, let her run it for 15 minutes. All you have to do is get enough charge on either your cell phone, your flashlight, your batteries, whatever the case is, to light up a room, to get alerts on your phone that the storm's coming or that the storm's passing. I can use this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's sunshiny, it doesn't matter. So I think I can recommend this product. The link will be in the description where you can pick these things up. This is the K-TOR 1 amp pocket socket. It weighs in at 14 ounces. 2.5 inches by 2.25 inches by 6.75 inches is the dimensions of it. And it can be used for all different kinds of devices. From a cell phone to a flashlight to a radio, pretty much anything that can charge via USB. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing the larger one. Let me know if you've used any device like this before. And also let me know what you guys use as your backup power source. That's all I've got for today. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Again, let me know what you think about it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. And yeah, that's all I've got. All right, guys, T2 out.